When the school bus later on, we had this conversation. I said, I think it was because you know, like you said, with your grandfather, seeing him go to work all the time, and just knowing that I have to get up, I have to physically do something. I think it was the actual life of leisure that I told her I think she was afraid of. It's okay. You work for this. You set yourself up. They made the foundation. So now you can sit back and you can say, "Whoa, wait, I can."
Right.
You know. So I think it was actually not having to go anywhere because you know that was your mindset.
Right.
Doing, and wait a minute. Hey, it's okay.
Right.
It's okay.
Right. But it's hard because you're nervous, you know.
Because it's a new life. It's a whole different mindset. Okay, now what is beauty? What's the definition of beauty to you?
Well, what I describe beauty as, sometimes it's something that you can see, sometimes it's something you can hear, sometimes it's something you can feel, sometimes it's something you can think about, you know, you can visualize. You know, I look at beauty as, you know, I'm a nature person, so the first signs of spring and the birds singing, that is just so beautiful to me.
Right.
You know, the first time I heard my daughter's cry, I hadn't seen her yet, but I heard that cry, made me know she was okay. That was beautiful. And that's the things that stand out in my mind that, you know, make an impression on my life and what I think beauty is.
Yeah, okay. Now, if you could create a beauty product or an invention related to beauty, what would it be and why?
This was hard.
Because you got so many.
Yes, well, you know what I thought about most is what I thought about, because I'm also a foster parent. So I have seen so many teen girls who, you know, I don't care how much you preach to them and how much you try to tell them, you know, don't do this, this is the results you're going to get. If I could just make a pill that would be a positive plus self-esteem. Give these kids some self-esteem. Just pop on everything every morning, and they just feel good. They just feel good about what they see in the mirror, what they, you know, what they got going on, what they gonna do, and just make them have positive thoughts all the time, and leave so much, because some of them have so much negativity. It's unreal, you know. And I'm like, you know, I know everybody has been through something. You know, everybody in here has a story. Everybody's been somewhere. But the one thing that I tell my girls, and I tell each and every one of them, none of us have control over where we start in life. But every one of us have control over where we end in life. And it's based on what you decide to do.
Yes, yes. Okay, so that kind of covered about the attitude, you know, your outlook on life. So you shared about the importance of dreams. If you can leave the girls with just one statement, one encouraging thing to, you know, kind of just stick in their mind, they can remember that you said, what would you leave them with?
Impressions. Your first impression on people makes such a big difference. I remember when I was 15, 16, I was working at McDonald's, and it was a lady who stopped at McDonald's, and she came in for a cup of coffee. And, you know, I just said, good morning, how are you today? You know, can I take your order?
I appreciate that, McDonald's.
You know, we made small talk because I'm like, I got to be here, so I'm going to make the best out of it. So I was nice and lovely, and, you know, even if somebody was nasty with me, I would still have that positive attitude. I'm going to change your attitude. I'm going to make you, you know, you talking nasty. I'm going to make you change your attitude. Before you leave, you're going to be saying thank you to me, you know. But this lady, and she appreciated, she was having a bad day. And because of what I told her, you know, was saying, you know, just make a small talk. I can't remember everything. But like 6 months later, I went to go get a better job at then it was called, it was Kaufman's, before Kaufman's May Company. I went to May Company. Do you know that was the lady that was interviewing me?
Amen.
But because I didn't have a nasty attitude, even though she wasn't the nicest person, she remembered me. Wow. She remembered me, and it was that first impression that got me that job. Now, I had a nasty attitude, and through her coffee or through her change across the counter, she would have remembered that too, and I would have got that job.
Amen. Amen. So impressions.
Impressions, your first impressions. Treat everybody with kindness, even if they're not being the nicest to you. You know, try your best to be nice to them, and if you have to walk away, you know, walk away. And don't show your ugly side. Always be nice and let your beauty shine.
Yes, yes. Do you have any questions for Ms. Thompson? Y'all got no questions? Go.
How do you keep up with all these jobs?
You know, I have a good better half. He helps me a lot with a lot of things. He's a hard working guy, and he's my general contractor. So, you know, when I get the calls about somebody's leaking sink or this and that, I direct them to him, and then, you know, I just have to juggle everything else as best I can. And, you know, I try to stay organized. That's the biggest thing. Staying organized, keeping a notepad, you know, because I can't remember all the time when Ms. Johnson called. So I have to write down Ms. Johnson called on January 24th at 5 o'clock. She having a problem with her sink or whatever. And then that's where I can, at night, I can look over my notes and make sure, you know, check things off and make sure I did this and did that. And, you know, just try to stay organized and have a system.
Right. Any more questions? Okay, Ms. B.
Roger, where do you see yourself in about 10 years?
Ooh, land on some those pretty beaches that somebody you know, and that's the sad part, because it's probably, even though I do a lot, I invest a lot, so I'm still broke. You know, even though, you know, because if I have this coming in from there, that I'm taking all that and I'm putting it over here.
Right.
So I'm hoping that in 10 years everything materializes and I can retire for real. That's my dream. That is my dream.
Yes.
Well, I got to say that I'm very proud to know you, and I've heard you from Tammy and seen what you have done. But to show the young ladies,
Yes.
this is what can happen.
Yes.
You have to get your education. Some might go to college,
Right.
some may not.
Right.
But we all have something inside of us that we can use, and use it for the good and work it for the good.
Right.
She's a living proof of it.
Yes.
All these ladies are.
Yes.
And I still had to educate myself in my field. So you know what? Actually, I make time. I try to take a family vacation every year, and that includes my immediate family as well as my extended family, my foster children, who's ever in my home. Like last year, we went to Disney World and took my nephew, my sister's son, and you know, it was a bunch of us, and we went to Disney World. And I used to have at least one night